The Campman Show with me, your host, Miss Cybulski. Today we're talking about pray, hope, and don't worry. We're talking about the prayer part, but some new news. Not actually that important to you. So this Friday, the 28th, we are having our faculty retreat. So all I'm asking for you, actually, you get the day off, which is really great. So on that day off, if you could say a prayer for us, pray for your teachers and pray for your faculty. Don't pray that they end up in the hospital or something. Pray that they may have God and enter in, I don't know, something nice, not mean, okay? But yeah, just say a prayer for us because we're hoping to be really renewed and refreshed by this and just have that relationship with God strengthened. So cool. Okay, now we're going to talk about prayer. Oh wait, sorry real quick. I need to tape this. Hi. Yeah. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Yeah. No. Okay, I actually have to go. Okay. Thanks. Love talking to you. Okay, bye. I'm so sorry about that. I just, my birthday's around now. I'm an October baby. People are calling me and texting me saying happy birthday. So I just had to take that. It was one of those friends, who you don't talk to all the time, but when you do, it's so good to catch up. So we're gonna have to catch up sometime. Actually, it's interesting. We have those different levels of friends. I kind of realized that around my birthday, I have those friends that that close, tight-knit group of friends that, hey, I hang out with them all the time or I talk to them all the time. They're probably the ones I hang out with on my birthday for reals. Then I have friends like that who, we don't talk all the time, but when we catch up, it is so good. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I miss you. And you're like, I miss you too. And wow, how's your life? How's my life? And we could talk for hours, but we don't talk all the time, just every once in a while. Then you have those friends, I think you guys know who I'm talking about, that you look at they text you happy birthday, and then you look at the last time you guys texted, and it was for their birthday. And all that you said was, happy birthday. And they're like, oh, thank you so much. I love you so much. And then now she said happy birthday to you. And you're like, oh my gosh, thank you. I love you so much. And that's the only time you talk to each other. And then sometimes there's those friends that you want them to say happy birthday to you or reach out to you. And they just don't. And I had a friend in college who we were really close, really tight. And then once we graduated, we went very different places and doesn't reach out anymore. And it's that's kind of a bummer. I really wanted to talk to you on my birthday because you were really special to me. And now you don't. So, but yeah, it's interesting those different friends we have and those different friend groups we have. So why am I talking about friends? Why did I accept my friend's phone call during this podcast that we're talking about prayer? Great question. Well, because there's a lot of aspects to prayer, but what I want to focus on today is how prayer is your friendship with God. Prayer is how you build that friendship with God. Yeah, it's really hard because I can't, the phone's upside down. That's so awkward. I can't speed dial, hey God, what's up? Or FaceTime or just text. I actually saw this comic when I was younger. Maybe I was kind of weird, but I would read the Sunday comics and it was one of those popular comics. I don't know which one, but it was a little girl and she was texting and her parents are get off your phone. And she's I'm texting God. And and then next you see these clouds and it says LOL in the clouds. So God's texting back. Wouldn't that be great if we could talk to God that way? Hey homie, what's up? How's the life today? And then he just you look up and you're wait, was that message to me or was that to that guy? Who's texting God right now? It would actually get confusing. Maybe a good thing we don't have prayer texting. But anyways, so we can't just text that happy birthday or just call or FaceTime real quick with God. But we can spend time with him. And I think that's kind of what helps determine what a friend is. How much time do you spend with that friend? How much time do you set aside to make that friendship happen? Those best friends, those really close friends, are the ones that you sacrifice your time to be with. That you're okay, I'm gonna hang out with them. We're gonna have a great time. It's gonna be wonderful. Those next friends, I call them just straight up friends. are the ones that like at moments you'll sacrifice a lot of time for them, but you can't sacrifice all the time in the world for them. Maybe it's like once a month, once every other month, once every 4 months, you know. And then I'd say those ones that you kind of just text, happy birthday, oh my gosh, I love you so much, thank you so much, are kind of those acquaintances. And then I don't know what I'd call the friends who just like don't reach out to you anymore. They're the ghosters. Not kidding. So how much time do you spend that you give to God? I think when I was in high school, I was kind of in the acquaintance area where I was like, you know, I check all the boxes. I'm going to Sunday Mass. I'm going to confession, you know, say more night prayer with my family. But like, it was just that acquaintance, like, hey, God, I know you're there. Don't really care what you're doing. Have a great life. Where I noticed in college, a lot of crazy stuff happened to me my sophomore year of college. Which you'll probably hear about somewhere in these Camp Min shows. But in that moment, I decided to go to God. I decided to spend more time with him. And it was a lot about friendship and who my friends are and what makes a good friend. And so that's where I went to him, and we had those conversations. We talked about it. I realized, wow, it's really nice when I set aside time for God, you know? And since then, I've realized how much more beautiful my life is when I set aside more and more time for God. And so now I'd say God and I are at that best friend level. So why do we want that friendship with God? It's because heaven is that friendship with God. And you don't want to go there and be like, I don't know if I want to hang out with this dude. No, you want to get to that point. So you want to hang out with him for eternity, because otherwise you're in the other place and we don't want you to be there. So just like how I built my friendship with God, you can do the same. And how do we do that? I know that for me, I love going into the chapel and sitting in the chapel and just having those conversations. The cheesy saying, we have one mouth and 2 ears. We're supposed to do twice as much as listening as we do talking. So not just going there, because I hear a lot of people like, I go in the chapel, I don't hear anything. But no, being there and being, okay, God, like, this is what's happening. What do you have? And sometimes we hear something, we feel something, we know something. And then God reassures us outside in like our daily life. So maybe look at that. Is there something that God is saying to you in some form in the chapel, and then reassuring you outside the chapel, you know, with a friend, what a friend says, what a teacher says, what something happens, you know? So maybe try that. Another way, let me just bring out the Bible again, you know? Another way is that the Bible is God's word. So spending time with the Bible. Right now I'm going through the Psalms, and I'm reading a Psalm when I get a chance. I want to do a day, but haven't gotten there yet. I'm working on it. I'm making time for God. And I read through it and I see what verse sticks out to me, and then praying about that. And God, why are you pointing that one out to me? Why does that one make me think differently, feel differently? So using the Bible and praying with the Bible is a great way to get to know God. So I really challenge you, look at where your relationship with God is, you know. Are you, hey, we're best friends. I make time for him. It's really great. It's really awesome. Cool. Just keep working on that. If you're like, hey, we're like friends, you know, like we hang out. Maybe you have a really beautiful adoration experience and you're like, wow, that was really great. I'll like definitely spend more time with you, God. Then don't. Or maybe it's a really amazing retreat experience. Or maybe it's, I don't know, something in that realm that you're like, hey, this was really cool for the time we did it. We should definitely catch up more. And you're like, but I just don't make it happen. Work towards spending more time with him. Maybe you're the, hey, you know, I check all the boxes. We're acquaintances. Just slowly work towards how do we spend a little bit more time here and there. Just a little bit. And maybe you're over here and you're like, yeah, no, I don't talk to God. Like, what's the point? Like, you know, but he wants you to. So maybe just try it and see what happens, you know? So spend some time in prayer. Maybe 15 minutes this week would be beautiful and wonderful. And just see what God places on your heart, what he tells you, maybe what you see around you, and see what he's calling you to, you know, what that relationship is. Talk about anything and everything, and it's so beautiful and so great. Okay, until next time, have a wonderful and beautiful week, and I will see you later. But until then, see ya.